Hello friends! Let's start with an unpopular horror opinion. I did not like the Until Dawn video game. It's just not for me. I don't like heavy storylines in games. So I think today's movie might just be a better way to enjoy this piece of media, because today we're going to go see Until Dawn, which is based on the video game. Until Dawn is directed by David F. Sandberg, which I'm so excited about. Of course, he's known for Lights Out and my favorite Annabelle creation. This movie is about a group of friends who are trapped in a real life nightmare where mysterious foes are chasing them down. The only way to survive is to survive until dawn. The video game is a survival interactive horror game which has a butterfly system, so whatever you do has consequences on all of the characters. But a major pro for the video game was the cast. They had Rami Malek and even Scream Queen royalty Hayden Panettiere. But this movie isn't going to include most of the original characters anyway. They've scrapped the entire cast and the characters they play, and we're getting a whole new look at this story, but still using the butterfly effect structure. I want to take you guys in today and let you know whether it's worth your time. As someone who didn't even like the video game, I will be seeing this through fresh eyes today. If you guys don't know, I'm on Twitch 3 times a week and I do play horror games, and I hate games like this. I wish I liked them. I wish I did. It's my hot take. It's my unpopular opinion, but it will be interesting knowing what I know about it to go into this. So I don't really have any expectations for this film. I'm just looking to enjoy it. I do think it's gonna be kind of a popcorn horror. Hopefully we'll have some interesting twists and turns and some great scares. There'll probably be jump scares, but I will let you know. If you do want to find out if this film is riddled with jump scares, keep watching. I'll let you know spoiler free whether it's worth your time and your money. Let's go. Well, meh? I mean, I went in knowing I didn't like the game and knowing that this was completely different. So I felt like I had a fresh slate, but it wasn't like it wasn't what I was expecting. It was just so dull, which is very strange because the horror in it, parts of it, the graphic scenes were fantastic, but everything else, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. So I would definitely say that this isn't really using the butterfly effect system. There is a huge aspect to the structure and the way it's set up. I'm going to let you guys obviously go in blind, but it is about a group of friends who are traveling. Clover, the main character, her sister has gone missing. So they're on this kind of road trip trying to find her. And they arrive in this strange place and are trying to basically figure out the mystery of what's going on, because there's a lot of supernatural activity around them. The whole film is basically a mystery about what is happening to them, and I felt like the answers and the delivery of the answers was so lackluster, and it just really lacked any fun, tension, and energy, which is very strange because the entities, there was a lot of jump scares, there was a lot of showing them. It got me a couple times. I'm not saying it's not scary. I think it was the characters, the dialogue, and just the in-between kind of drama that doesn't suck you in. It feels so stereotypical, which is part of the structure of the film. It is self-aware in a way about that. They even make a joke about other films that have done this kind of thing before, but it just felt so uninspired. There was no real depth to any of the characters, so it didn't really grab me as I went in. So everything that happened from there, I only felt was interesting if it was a jump scare or a gory scene. I didn't really care anything else that happened. And the mystery, I felt like they hold it back purposefully because it's so I wouldn't say easily explained, but they do explain everything. I felt like they could have been more mysterious with the clues and really written it into the script. I felt like you were getting mystery, 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 all these kind of jump scares and horror throughout that, but then you kind of got these two big pieces of what was happening and that put straight together instead of little breadcrumbs put everywhere. And the same with the exposition of the characters and their story. They're so stereotypical. They hit every stereotype branch on the horror tree as they fall down. It's crazy because I felt like they were trying to be self-aware about what they were doing, but at the exact same time, it was so cliche. I really felt like they could have played into it a lot more, but I think there was so much lacking between the chemistry of the actors and the dialogue that it just wasn't believable for me. It was going through the paces, and although it was all a mystery, I didn't really care what happened to these characters, and that is not a good sign of a horror movie. I will say for people who like the game, there's a lot of fun little elements in there, and it does a little bit of fan service, but in a fun way. But it's completely different in a lot of aspects. I thought the setting was going to be a lot more like the game as well, very creepy and dark, and although it kind of gets there, I don't feel like it fully has the same atmosphere, which people really love from that story. It tries to recreate it, but it does so in a very strange way. I felt the tension was just lacking in this film. I feel like they had some really cool ideas for intense moments, for the horror moments, but stringing them all together, those parts in between that are meant to make it flow and meant to make you really get excited and get worried for each character, it didn't quite work. And I found myself just waiting for the next horror moment because that was what I was really enjoying in the film. I will say that those aspects get better as it goes on. So if you are going to watch for the horror aspects, it is very satisfying in that regard, but I don't know if that is really worthwhile. There's one or two really cool scenes, but other than that, I'll probably forget this film tomorrow. This, for me, I just think obviously I'm not the right demographic for it, and it is a very teen movie, so maybe it is suited to teens currently, but at the same time the gore and the graphics are pretty intense, and of course it's playing to this game that's been out since 2015, so I do think there should be more of a crossover, but even teens today, surely they deserve some better dialogue than this. I just didn't buy anything that they were selling except for the horror aspects. And there is a lot of practical in there. It felt very Halloween haunt kind of vibes. I just didn't find it slick enough to be a very exciting film as a whole. The characters were just so dull and so one-dimensional. That's everything we've seen already 6,000 times before. Put into a situation with a lot of tropes. Some of that's really fun to watch on the big screen. I love some jump scares. I know not everyone loves them, but I know there's a time and place for them, and this is definitely that time and place, but it's not enough to save the whole film for me. I'm actually giving this one a personal score of 5 out of 10. I was really not vibing with it at all. Of course, that's my personal score. For scare, I'm still going to give it a 7. I think there was some really good jump scares in there, some really cool special effects makeup, and I thought that that was really fun. But for originality, I'd probably give it like a 4. I really don't know what went wrong here. I think that there was maybe too much focus on the horror aspects, and it's weird because it is from a director who likes horror movies. I would expect this from somebody who maybe has no interest in making horror movies, but is making one. So I don't know. I'm very confused by it because Lights Out is a very deep movie. It's very scary, but it's got a lot of metaphors layered. Not that you always need them. I did think it was going to be a popcorn horror, but the characters have way more depth. I felt like they just slapped some trauma onto some characters and just like pushed them into a room and said, your friends, that's your boyfriend. Oh, and your sister's gone missing. Let's go. I felt like that was a little bit of a rant, but you know, I've just got to be honest here. It's such a bummer because I didn't like the game because I don't like heavy storylines in games. So the game just wasn't for me. I know a lot of people love it, but that's why I was excited to watch the movie because I like my heavy storylines in the movie. And I felt like it was a complete switch because even though they go more into depth in certain ways, I feel like there's a lot more details and fun to the mystery in the game. But there you go. As always, you've got to go to the cinema and make up your own mind, but hopefully that was a rough guide that can let you know maybe where you will sit and you can make your own decisions. Let me know down below in the comments if you've seen this one, if you plan to see it, your thoughts, feelings. Did you like the game? Don't forget, I did your unpopular horror opinions. The comments in there are going off. I just did that video if you want to go check it out. And I've also got an iceberg on the most disturbing scenes in horror movies if you'd like to check that out. I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.